why is it people are trying to do this and missing the boat? Meaning they do the right thing to build up 1 year's worth of expenses in cash, and yet that very prudent move ends up as this drag behind them, like a little bit like having an anchor drag bottom while you're trying to move your boat down the river.
Well, I think that one big part of it is that people think that keeping money, say, in a checking account means the greatest amount of liquidity, the greatest amount of safety, because they can't lose directly. But what we miss out on is money that's not growing is shrinking, even if the digits look the same on our statement because of this thing called inflation. So the fact that someone says, there's always going to be an amount of money that we want in a checking account that we can get at a moment's notice. That should never be zero for a family. Yep. But there is an amount above, that got to be able to get at tomorrow that maybe we could get at within 2 or 3 days. We could start making some different choices. And so the money that's get at instantly, we don't care about the rate of return, and the best rate of return it can give us is that we can get it instantly.
Yes.
But then that next block of money, we start to develop some different expectations for that. So whether you're a family, someone running your business, keeping cash on hand, or a real estate investor waiting for the next deal, those are all situations where cash management starts to come into play.
And really, we would have you guys think about it as a metaphor of like a river running down a mountain and into a lake. My family and I just spent a week at a lake. And one of the things that's funny is like water flows into the lake and water flows out of the lake. But most of what happens there happens across the surface, much like your checking accounts, your bank accounts. Money comes in and money goes out, but there's an amount that it never dips below. So if you can kind of picture that lake and water flowing in, water flowing out, there is still water at the bottom of the lake that never turns over, meaning water flows in and out the top, but there's a bottom piece that it never invades. What I would have you think about is your money in your bank is the same thing. If you're a business owner that keeps $1 million in cash in the business, you might have some flex that occurs, like maybe you get down to $500,000 periodically, but you never seem to get below $500,000. As a household, you build up your 1 year worth of expenses. And as you do that, you might periodically dip into it because you need to buy a car or you have some family emergency. But for the most part, it never dips below, say, 300,000 is the amount of cash you want to keep on hand. But you notice over time, there's not very many occasions you're going to get below $200,000. So that means that we can take and reposition that money into better performing accounts that have access and don't introduce the volatility of the movements of the market, because the movement of the market and that volatility can end up dictating decisions for you. That's why Corey was so clear at the beginning of this, that you don't want to be in a position that what you're doing is putting money that needs to be liquid and available at risk and put more money in the market. In fact, we still need safe money, but we need clear alternatives to having that safe money.